everyone, I'm Charlie Dawn and welcome to my library. This video is a reading wrap up for July. I didn't film it in July though, which is not good. It is August now, but it's okay. I read 7 books, I think. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 could have been 9, but I was lazy and didn't read the last 2 in time. The first book I read was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Then I went on to read the trilogy, the Hunger Games trilogy. I gave the first one 3 out of 5 and I gave the trilogy a 5 out of 5, but we move on because I've talked about them for 20 minutes in one go. Then I read The Summer I Turned Pretty. So I actually read these when I was really young. I was probably 12, 13, something like that. And I love these books so much. But they did that thing where the first book comes out and it looks one way, then the second book comes out and it's like a completely different style of cover. And then I eventually just gave them to a charity shop when we moved house. I saw them on Audible and I was like, oh my god, I need them. But I wanted the actual books, and then I found online that they made a complete set. Had to have it. Didn't need, to spend that much money on it, but I went without other things instead. So The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy is about a girl called Belly and her brother Stephen and their mum, who the mum's called Laurel, I think. They go every summer to this summer house with Laurel's best friend Susanna and her 2 boys, Conrad and Jeremiah. Ever since Belly can remember, she's been in love with Conrad, and he's definitely he's like, I'm too cool for you. So they look like this. Summer I Turned Pretty, which is the one I read last month. And then the next one, I think, is, do you know what, I don't know what order they go in. It's Not Summer Without You, which I'm going to start, and then We'll Always Have Summer, and they're just so beautiful. The covers are great, and the nostalgia of it was really lovely. Did I like the book this time round? Probably not, but it isn't written for me. It's not written for a 23-year-old woman to enjoy as the peak of literary drama. But it was really nice to revisit the characters, which the characters are very different now. No, they're not different. I'm reading them differently. The girl is called Belly. I think she's called Isabella or Isabel, but you don't find that out until way into the middle of the book. I don't think I cared when I first read it, but when I read it this time around, I thought, I feel like we should know what her name is, not just that she's called Belly. I thought she was really relatable, and I was like, oh my god, I do that. Turns out we're nothing alike. I don't think she has that much of a personality. She's quite pouty, and that's not something I really think you'd be like, oh my god, I'm pouty. Maybe you are, but also it's not one of your greatest character traits. Thank god for this door, I'm roasting. It's the fringe. The fringe is adding new depths to the heat. Also, Conrad and Jeremiah are the brothers, and Jeremiah's a good guy. He's solid, he's fine. Conrad, I don't know what I saw in him when I was 13. I thought, oh my god, I want to marry Conrad. I wish Conrad was my boyfriend. And the friends that I lent the book to when we were 13 also felt the same. And so it's quite funny now to be like, he's just a dick. He might have been going through some things, but he wasn't nice one time. And the reasons for her to fall in love with him were things like, my brother kicked me and he said, nah, cool. Or he didn't ignore me for 3 days. The bar was low. He was probably just really fit. I mean, I can relate to that. When you're 13, do you really care about what their personality is? I don't know. I can't rate the book. It's like rating one of your children. Could my mum rate me? Probably. She'd probably rate me an 8. The next book I read, I've got a little list on the floor. I'm not just bowing my head. Ooh, the next one. I read this. It's called Beautiful Darkness. I'm dressed kind of like this today. Beautiful Darkness is by Fabian, I think, Velman, and so it's swirly writing. Hang on. I can't read it. Kureskaway? I think they're German. I think it's a translated book actually. It's a sort of fairy tale where these little people, they're meant to be fairies, but they don't have wings or anything. So that's one of them. And they all look very different as well. So here's another one. So they don't look like the same species to each other. They all look almost like toys, odd toys. They live in a place, and that place becomes inhabitable. Yeah, I'm trying not to spoil it. I bought this from a local shop. It's page 45. Oh god, is it? Yeah, page 45 in Nottingham. Really recommend them. They do all sorts of comics, and he always writes you a little note on your order. So like, me and my boyfriend made like a really big order, and it was like all my kind of like cutesy, well this isn't cute, but like cutesy like romance graphic novels, and his like Batman and then he was like, wow, what an eclectic taste. Anyway, got this from there. I gasped probably like every half a page. It was I mean, the title Beautiful Darkness sums it up. It was absolutely stunning. Like the pictures, it was all like, oh, I don't know if I should show you because it's kind of cheating, but, and it's all like sort of watercolour. I'm not an artist, somebody else can tell you. It would be probably something else. It'd probably be like pastel charcoal or something, I don't know. But one minute it's like beautiful, ethereal, and then the next minute it's like, okay, here's one spoiler. If you don't want to hear it, fast forward like 5 seconds. They're all like fairies, but there's no wings. They're just like called fairies. And this fairy is like, oh, I'm gonna go and sit in this bird's nest so the mum bird thinks I'm one of her kids and she'll feed me because I'm dead hungry. And she sits there and she like opens her mouth up to get fed by the mother bird. And the mother bird like shoves her beak down her throat and like kills her. And the whole book is like that. It's like this weird fairy tale, grim fairy tale, but like, it's so clever though. Like the first scene is like they're having like tea and cake and then they're not. Oh, and it gets dark, but oh, I loved it. Loved it. I read it in one sitting. I think I read it in an hour. Before bed, which was a bad idea. Anyway, next book. Oh, The Mermaid Atlas. So I really, oh, don't drop things. I've already dropped, oh no, I broke the box. Oh, for goodness sake. This needs, ooh, oh, The Mermaid Atlas. Oh my god, I loved this. It's written as if it's like real life. It's written as if you're reading like a school like textbook. Much more interesting, I'll just put that. It's so gorgeous. It's about mermaids all over the world. And it's written so factually. So it starts off in Europe, and it like tells you where like the mermaids live, but it's all based on like folklore and things. So it is, I mean, it depends on obviously what you think. I would love to believe that mermaids are real. I truly thought they were real when I was a kid, as much as like elephants and like seals. I just thought that mermaids were animals, and it wasn't until I said to my Auntie Lou, I said, Auntie Lou, are mermaids real? And she was like, they are if you want them to be. And I was like, well, that's a no then, isn't it? Oh, damn it. I really thought they were. Oh, and there's one that's like around the corner from me. There's a mermaid pool in Derbyshire, and I'm from Nottinghamshire, so not too far away. Okay, so there's a pool, like a natural pool, far away from the sea in Derby, because obviously we're like in the middle of the country. The pool has salty water. Why would it have salty water when it's so far from the sea? Anyway, so salty water is perfect for a little mermaid to be keeping in there. There was really, really interesting ones from like Australia, New Zealand, and like islands around there, because a lot of those were about like that the mermaids like protect the island, whereas ours were just like, there was one and she's like a mermaid who hides in the body of a seal, and then she just like crawls out of its mouth, and she's like, I don't think I'd rated it, but I'd probably give it 5 stars. I'll just briefly talk about the ones that I'm reading currently, because I'm nearly finished with them. So I'm reading the graphic novel version of Noughts and Crosses. It's a dystopian world where if you're either a nought or you're a cross. So noughts are the white people and crosses are the black people. The black people are on top, the noughts. The white people are the lower ranked citizens. I never read it in school, and I feel like I would have liked it a lot more in school, like when I was a bit younger. It's not like it's written in an immature way, but I just think it's like just on the cusp, like the writing's on the cusp of, if I was like 14, it would have been perfect for me. Reading it as a white person was so interesting because I'm never going to experience life like the white people in that book do, because it's you know, it's the reverse. But I've nearly finished that one. I think I'd also really like to watch the series. Finally, oh, do you know what? I've got the book. Little Fires Everywhere. Oh, I've still got the sticker on it. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. And I've had this, I mean, it might be 2 years. And now I'm listening to it on Audible, and I like listen to the first 5 hours in one go. I'm obsessed. I love it. And like, what is it even about, really? Like, I know what the storyline is. Why am I so intrigued? It's the writing. The writing has got me. I'm already going to give it a 5 stars, I can just tell. So that was my July wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw a book that you might pick up from it. I'm going to do another video next week, and I'm either going to do a graphic novel recommendation video or a top 5 books of the year video. So if you have a preference, comment it in the comments if you like. Wear a mask. Be nice to retail staff, please. Oh, nearly fell off my chair. I'll see you next time in my library. Thank you. I think I've got mascara all over my eyes. I have. Great.